Hey everyone, I'll be with you. Just checking in to make sure everyone's ready to go. I am feeling amazing. I've just finished the ultimate body cleanse, and boy, have I lost some serious poundage. So I'm just waiting for Dr. Pat to get over here to help me with this masterclass because I need some heavy weight. So give me a couple of minutes. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Here we go. All right. We're just waiting for a couple of people to log in now, and we're going to be ready to go because we're going to talk about spinal hygiene, but talk about how the body has this incredible ability to take care of itself. Back in just 30 seconds.
Probably hasn't quite started yet. What have we got?
No. Who else?
Oh, there's Dr. Pat. Look, I can see his shoulder.
Okay, everybody, I'm ready to go. Listen, I'm feeling a bit limp. It's 6 p.m. So I hope you're comfy because I am ready to rumble. All right, everyone, good to see you logged in. I'm going to get Dr. Pat because, like I said, I need some extra weight for this masterclass tonight. All right. Okay. We do stupid things sometimes. We do. But this is a message for you tonight because what I'm going to share with you over the next 20 minutes and what we're going to share with you is something that is going to change your life. You see, the way things work at the moment, we're in the year 2025, and we have, sadly, more sick people in our community than ever before. Yet we have more science, more technology, and yet more people are sick and suffering. We have more people reaching for the cabinet, the medicine cabinet, to take a pill. But we're going to just change our mindset tonight because I know some of you in the room who've had adjustments in the last few days, and others who've had them in the last 20 years have seen dramatic improvements. I'm going to introduce you to a lady tonight who was classified when she was 40, I think it was 44, 48 years of age, as 20% disabled. Well, now she's 80. And she's just doing everything. She's riding a bike with practice at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for her
But if
adjustments.
we don't know what
So
he's saying,
I'm going to share something with you incredible tonight. It's going to just get your body and mind thinking a little differently. All right. So, first truth to get us started. The first truth tonight, if you've got a notebook, and I don't know if you have one there ready or pen and paper, but I'm going to recommend when you get to these master classes to write some notes. We're going to record this stuff, but what I would say, something I learned by one of my mentors many years ago, if I just sit and listen to something, I'm going to retain about 10% of it. But if I sit and write notes, I'm going to retain 75%. But if I sit and write notes and engage with the people presenting, I'm going to retain 90%. So tonight, I'm going to encourage you to engage with us. So if you've got a question, down on the bottom left-hand side of your screen, there's a little, bottom of the screen, there's a little ability to write, put your hands up. Where is that, Dr. Pat? Can you just point that out? I believe.
In the chat.
In the chat, you can write questions, type your questions in because I want to make sure we cover everything with you this evening. These master classes are for you, and these are the ability, this gives us the ability if you ask question. And the rules are on master classes, there is no silly question because your question means something to you, but actually might mean something to someone else who's actually feeling like, oh, do you know what? I didn't think of that. What a great question. So Make sure you got a notebook. If you don't have something, maybe prepare yourself a special notebook at home that's called your wellness notepad. And I'll show you why that's so important. Because when you decide to go back to that notebook in a few months' time and look at it, you'll read it, a couple of points, you'll read some notes, I forgot about that. Because remember, if it's written, it exists. And if it's not written, it's gone. Because who's got good memory at the moment? Who finds that they forget stuff? Who goes, where's the wallet? Where's the keys? Where's the purse? Or is it just me? Because what happens when your body's in a place of stress, its short-term memory changes. So, notebook, ready to go, writing some notes, and we're ready to go. All right, so listen, tonight, I'm going to hand you over to Dr. Pat in a few minutes, but I'm going to share you 2 truths. And these first 2 truths are going to be a number of 12 truths we're going to share with you over the next forthcoming weeks. Okay, you go for it, Pat. You can be my techie man. There's pop-ups everywhere. Okay, so the first truth, your body was designed to be healthy. Now that might seem really radical, or actually for some of you, well, that just makes sense. Well, we have evidence of that. And the reason it's important to understand the first truth, the body was designed to be healthy, is because from a very young age, we are indoctrinated to believe that our body is destined to get sick, it's destined to break down, and it's destined to die. But it's destined to die at a very young age. You see, 30, 40 years ago, if you remember, we were taught that we're going to go to school, we're going to graduate, we're going to work hard, and we're going to retire at the age of 60. And actually, when you're retired at 60, I don't know if you remember years ago, but the people I remember who were 60 plus had walking sticks and not doing much. They retired, and they retired out of life. And what we're seeing tonight, and you'll meet a lovely lady tonight who's in her 80s, you'll see people actually more active, more well, living longer active lives. Things have shifted. Our body is designed to be healthy, and we have evidence of that. And I've got a few pieces of information I want to share with you. The first one is the body's designed to break down and repair itself. And I'll give you an example. The body breaks down in terms of every second of every day, but it's also repairing. But what it's doing, it's actually repairing, it's replacing old cells with new cells. So in 90 days, you ready for this? You're a new version of yourself. Apart from the basic atomic structure, you have new cells in your body. So within 3 to 4 minutes, you have a new stomach lining. Within 3 to 4 days, your whole stomach lining is replaced. Within 6 weeks, your liver's replenished and replaced. Your liver cells regenerated. It's quite remarkable. So the body is designed to be healthy. And the way it does that, it has the ability to repair and replenish itself with new cells. Another piece of evidence we have the body's designed to be healthy is self-regulating. It has intelligence to adapt, to monitor its environment. It does that to act and make decisions. And we'll expand that in a few minutes. And the other one is it has the third thing it has, because we know the body's designed to be healthy, it has a defense system called your immune system. And that's what keeps it in existence. Because remember, if we bought into that germ theory model that we were taught many years ago by Louis Pasteur, the French microbiologist who said, the germs will kill you. Well, on his deathbed, he was known to say, actually, it's no longer in the seed, it's in the soil where that seed lands. So the point is, it's got nothing to do with the germs. It's got to do with the terrain it lands in. So the reason this is so important tonight, because we have been a little bit brainwashed. We've been a little bit indoctrinated. We've been led to believe we're designed to get sick. And it's actually very, very normal to reach to the cabinet to say, put that in my body, and that's going to make me well. We've been taught to become passive in our health decisions. We've been taught, indoctrinated to do little about our health, but depend on a system to look after us. And sadly, something that was new to me when I moved here 25 years ago, because we don't have a national healthcare service in Australia, it really opened my eyes in terms of how it's created dependency. Because that amazing service, we've got such amazing workers who are in there trying to save lives and help people in National Healthcare Service, was set up after the war. That was set up to help people after war with injury, missing limbs, people who are literally dying. But what that's done now, that's evolved to become our National Healthcare Service. And yet the challenge is you have to be sick to enter it. Now, I know everyone on this call has been through that service, and you've received amazing service by some of those individuals, the doctors, the nurses, the specialists. They're all working hard. However, the system is broken because what it's doing, it's not actually serving us for healthcare anymore. You have to be sick to enter it, and the answer is never in anything except for a pill, injection, or a shot. So tonight, first truth, your body is designed to be well. And the second truth Dr. Pat's going to share with you is the body is smart. And I'm going to tap into that now as we come back, and I'll come back in a few minutes to finish off. Dr. Pat, over to you at this end of this amazing Tuesday night together.
All right. So, how many of you, right, have heard of genetics, right? You've heard of genetics, right? And you've heard that you can inherit genes from your parents. Have you heard of that? Yeah. And how many of you believe that you can inherit sickness through genetics? All right. Well, that is a very commonly held belief today, right? However, a number of years ago, who's heard of the Human Genome Project? Anybody? Human Genome Project. So back in the 90s, when we first looked at the DNA that makes up all of the humans, we decided that we were going to map out every possible gene that any person could have, right? And that became a worldwide endeavor, meaning hospitals and universities around the world collaborated and worked together to map it out, right? To find out every possible gene that we could have. And of course, when they started, they thought they were going to find all of the terrible genes that cause all the terrible diseases. They were going to find the heart disease gene, the diabetes disease gene, the ones for cancer, the ones for Alzheimer's, right? 10 years later, when the Human Genome Project ended, anybody know what they found? Are you ready? They all went, huh, we all have everything, right? It now has shifted the direction of genetics into a new field they call epigenetics. And epigenetics is what genes get activated in your body. So the next question that they wanted to answer is what decides which genes get activated in our body? And any idea? You ready? Your central nervous system. Your central nervous system monitors your internal environment and your external environment and makes the decisions on which genes need to be activated in your body. Now, why would our body, our nervous system, make a decision to activate a gene like diabetes or cancer? Why would it do that? Right? Well, that's what we're talking about, the intelligence of our body. Well, how intelligent is a system if it doesn't have accurate information? What if it's not getting the right information about your environment? What if it's not getting the right information about your internal environment? And the reason we talk so much about our spine and the health of our spine is not because, oh, my spine gives me pain, but because it does an incredibly important job protecting that connection between your brain and all the parts of your body. Why? You want your brain to understand your environment. You want it to understand everything that's going on so that it can properly adapt your body. Our body is intelligent. It has the ability. If you move to high elevation, when you first get to high elevation, you'll get elevation sickness, right? Your body gets depleted of oxygen. But then your nervous system monitors that and it begins changing and adapting your body. It can activate new genes in your body to make it possible for you to live at high elevation. How quickly does it do that? It doesn't do it instantly. It does it over time. Why? Because most people, when they go to high elevation, the body thinks, oh, this is a temporary change. So initially it creates temporary changes to adapt you to that environment. But if you stay there long enough, it will fully adapt you. It'll change not only your lungs and the capacity for your lungs to bring in air, it'll change the actual size of your lungs. It'll change the size of your rib cage. It can fully adapt you over about a 3-year period to be fully adapted for high elevation. right? But our body is doing that continuously, right? This time of year, when the weather is transitioning, is when you really feel how your body has to adapt. How many of you were freezing last week, right? The temperature drops a few degrees and you got to bundle up, right? But by mid-January, you'll be adapted to colder weather and you'll start to feel okay that it's a bit chillier, right? And this summer, when it got hot, how many of you were just sweating bullets, right? But if you stay in that warm weather for a few weeks, guess what? You get used to it, right? Anything that happens and changes in your environment, your body is intelligent enough to recreate your body, to readapt your body to the new environment. And it doesn't do that by changing the existing cells that make up your body. It does it by reprogramming the new cells that are being born today, right? That intelligence, as I said, is mediated through your central nervous system, right? You don't have to inherit that. It's automatic. We call it your innate intelligence, which means you're born with it. So from the time that you're born, your body, your nervous system knows how to adapt itself to keep you healthy throughout life.
So interesting. Let's think about that. When is your body adapting? Your body's adapting every minute of every day. Just think about it. Ladies, you put a handbag on your shoulders. Let's cut it down to something simple. You put a handbag on your shoulder. What happens? Your body has to, that extra poundage, that 10 or 15, 20 pounds you put on your shoulder, how does the body know how to walk in a straight line when you do that? Because it has to adapt its weight bearing. The problem is when you take that handbag off and you stand in front of our mirror and we see you've got one shoulder dropped, how does your body still know how to walk in a straight line? Because your body and your cells have adapted to change, to live, to survive. And that's why it's so intelligent. It's constantly adapting to keep you well. And then it gets to a point that says, wait on, I can't survive in abundance. I can't be prosperous. I can't be walking around really well. My body's in this sort of position. So what that does, that misalignment, that subluxation, that's the word you've learned, that interference to the nervous system, your body then starts to adapt and change, and it says, hey, wait on, I'm going to scream out to you, I can't do this anymore. And that's where you might get pain. And that's where some of you have come to see us because you had neck pain, or you might have not been able to move, you might have headaches. So that's the alarm bell going off to you. But actually, I'm going to get some of you to share a little bit of your experience after you've been getting adjusted the last few weeks. But when we've adjusted you, we haven't adjusted the headache. We've adjusted the disturbance, that interference, because that allows the body to readapt properly. That allows the body to adapt to its environment properly. You see, you're being exposed to all sorts of stresses every day. But what's amazing, your body is recalibrating itself to try and keep it in its existence.
So, is our body designed to be healthy, right? You look at a small baby and you say, my goodness, it has all the potential in the world, right? And yet people say, yeah, but there are some babies that are born sick, right? Well, the truth is, we talked about the epigenetics, right? Your epigenetics, what decides which genes are activated in a newborn baby, right? Is it the newborn baby? Well, in actual fact, all the research shows that while the baby is developing in mom, that's what decides the genetics that are activated when that baby is born. So if you see a newborn baby that is not really well, right, you can dial that back and say, why are they not well? Which genes got activated that resulted in them not functioning at 100%? Now, that also doesn't mean that the genes that are activated at birth are permanent. It's not fixed, right? Why? Our intelligence in our body knows how to write that, right? I've had many, many babies that were born unwell, not functioning properly. In fact, doctors being at a point of saying this baby is going to fail to thrive. It's not going to be able to function and to live out its life. That we've been able to adjust and see them grow up to be healthy, functioning adults, right? So the body has the ability to make those adjustments. It has the ability to shift its genetics. What's most important is to ensure that the brain is able to properly communicate with all the parts of the body so that it has the right information to work with.
So let's make sense of all this. Spinal hygiene. You ready? We keep our spine healthy, we keep it moving well, we keep motion in it. We keep motion in it because what that allows your body to do is transfer those messages from brain down to body, but more importantly, the messages coming back from our environment back to our brain. That's why you change when we adjust you, you'll stand up and you'll feel more balanced. You'll feel like, wow, something's changed. You'll move more freely because now your body's getting the information it needs to function optimally. So what I'd like to do, just for a few minutes, I'm going to just literally ask a couple of you to share a little bit about your experience, and we're going to make practical meaning of that in terms of how things have changed for you. So we've got a few people on there tonight. So I'm going to, if you don't mind, Emma, I would love you to share a little about your experience, what you've noticed after making some small adjustments in your life after your first few adjustments. Yvonne, if you're happy to put me on on the spot. Norma, I'll let you go first. All right. So I'd love to hear from a few tonight, just to share a little about your experience, what you've noticed after getting adjusted. Because I was blessed that my mother took me at 6 months of age, and I've had chiropractic all my life. And some of you are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and this is the first time you've had adjustments. And it's like, wow, how come no one talked to me about this stuff? So if you're happy to speak and share a little bit of experience, just raise your hand. I was thinking about Yvonne, Emma. Don't be shy on me, Emma. You ready to speak? You got it. All right. You got it. I'm ready. So just unmute yourself, bottom left. And Norma, I'll bring you on. Norma, if you got your camera working, that'd be amazing. All right, Emma. Emma, do you mind if you just get a little bit of a background of what things have been for you and what happened for you in the last 5, 10 years of your life and how you got to come and meet us and what's happened?
Okay, so I was born with talipes, which is like clubfoot, turn around the wrong way. My first lot of surgery was when I was 24 hours old, all the way up until my 20s. Sorry. Um, I've had a below knee amputation.
So again, so we've had a below the knee amputation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I had last year I had my right hip replaced, total hip replacement, because obviously having pain and knowing from a child that the NHS is probably the only place to go because you've got pain and you think, oh, they're going to help and they're going to treat you and you're going to be fine. But then obviously I see your offer online on Facebook, and what really got me was the nerve scan. Because it came from NASA, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's like great technology. I want to try this offer. And since I've been coming, I can stand a bit straighter. I mean, I know that I'm a little bit wonky, but it's going to take a little bit of time to get me wonky. But yeah,
And
I'm
what did
finding
we
it a
do?
lot better.
We took some standing X-rays, right? Which was
Yeah,
the first time
yeah.
that someone's
And I
taken
did,
some measurements.
yeah, and I didn't realise like one of my shoulders were dropping to one side, and I didn't realise I had problems in my neck because nobody had ever checked my neck, and that was really surprising for me to find out that it was more advanced than I thought it was, sort of thing. So, but I mean, with the stretching and the massages and the adjustments, I feel good at the end of the week. It's kind of like, it's different, and now, my GP's allowed me to put down some of my medication, which was my 12-hour pain relief that I'm on. So now I've gone down like 50 milligrams, instead of 100 milligrams, I'm now at 50. So I'm getting there.
Wait on. Let's just process this for a second. Wait on. So we've an amputee below the knee. The other day you came in without your walking stick.
Yeah, I
The other
did.
day you're walking like comfortably.
Yeah.
And wait on, this is like amazing. And to reduce your medication by 50%.
Yeah,
And you've only been getting adjusted the last few weeks.
yeah,
This is
I know.
amazing stuff.
I know. It's just a weird situation. It's kind of like, oh God, like what? It feels like I'm missing something, but I don't know. It's kind of like what you're missing. What?
Oh,
Because you normally just go on and you just go, you've got loads of pain, and I know that I'm trying to walk a bit more and not use my wheelchair like when we go out. So I'm just keeping like ice packing like 3, 4 times a day now, instead of like putting the deep heat on like I used to.
okay.
And it's just weird. It's just a weird sensation, but it's a
To
good
just put, and it's
sensation.
amazing because to put that in perspective, you've been getting adjusted for like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah,
And so, what's really cool about this, everyone, I just want to share this with you because I love it. I love it. And everyone, I want you to share your experience. And Norma, you're coming on, right? Because
yeah,
so here's the thing. So, Emma,
yeah,
you've just, you were actively, but there's something you just said that was really important. And this is how people have been indoctrinated. My GP gave me permission to drop my medication.
yeah,
Did you hear that?
yeah.
Because ultimately, who's in charge?
Well, I'm supposed to be in charge of my own medication,
Yeah, and,
and
and
not
I
it's
know,
not the GP. But
but what's happened? It's created a dependency on someone else to be in charge of your health. And the
yeah,
big difference, what we're going to be doing now, is because we're educating, we're showing you what you can actively do to empower you. You get to start making active decisions. But
yeah,
the good thing is you got your sounding board, you got a GP, and that's really cool. But just dropping the medication 50%, that's
yeah, yeah, and that's in the last just for 2 weeks. Like
yeah.
I've been on,
Gotcha.
which is
And what do
quite
we
good.
find? And what do we find when we did your standing x-rays? We found how much difference was it?
I think it was 28 millimeters or something like that. It
28
was,
millimeters, guys. That's over an
yeah,
inch difference in leg length. Do you think that might cause someone back pain if they're walking around with an amputated leg with a posting, which we
yeah,
you call your best friend? What do you call that again? You call it
my little stump.
your stump. So what
Yeah,
happens? You imagine that, everyone. Yeah, imagine that. So amazing. Emma, thank you for sharing your experience a little bit tonight. We're going to tap into that over the next few weeks.
yeah,
Yvonne, don't be shy. All right.
give it a
This is
try.
really cool. All right, Yvonne. So you're our little pocket rocket, right? And you
Yeah.
are amazing. Just if everyone can just listen really carefully, because Yvonne comes from a different country. All right.
Yeah.
Yvonne, talk to me about what life has been like over the last few years.
I mean, my last few years, my life has become really small. I get really bad migraines, like debilitating to the point where I don't want to live anymore. It's so bad. And when I came to see you, like I think I was on day 18 of a recurrent migraine where I was just, and like I have the strongest medication. If you went to hospital with a migraine and you got a migraine cocktail, I already have that. There is not, and it doesn't touch it. It doesn't do anything. And I've had those my whole life. But they've been getting, obviously with perimenopause, like they've been getting worse and worse over the last few years. And yeah, it's just to the point where like, there's been like 3 weeks where I just haven't even left the house. I haven't gone anywhere. Like I've got dogs and hardly able to do anything with them. Yeah, and I'm going through genetic testing at the moment at Guy's Hospital for a condition called EDS, which is a connective tissue disorder. Um, yeah, and it's just like I've been back and forward to the doctors, and my doctor's lovely. She's great, but she says the NHS are here to give you stuff to for the pain, and she said if there's nothing we can do, like with the EDS, there's no cure, there's nothing they can do for it. But there is stuff that you can do to help, but there's nothing you can do to prevent it getting worse you know, or a cure. And she said the NHS have this view that there is no point in you getting the testing because there's nothing they can do.
So what did you, so okay, so we've got migraines, EDS, which is, people might put that under the umbrella of like a hypermobility and connective
Yeah.
tissue disorder. But what other symptoms did you experience? As tiredness, fatigue,
Oh, I was
sleep?
so tired. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could just, yeah, I just like fatigue. Like, not just sleepiness, but just feeling rubbish all the time, nausea, I just felt awful all the time.
So so wait on. So we had your first adjustment. When was that? That was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago now, yeah.
And what's changed?
Oh, I have so much energy. Before I was like, you try to eat healthily, but if I prepare a meal, I don't have the energy to eat it. So now I have the energy to go buy the food, prepare the meal. I was doing meal prep earlier on, and then I had the energy to eat it as well. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm taking the dogs for walks every day. I just finished work and I've still got loads of energy. It's amazing. And
Guys, what's
after
this
I've
all
been for
about?
you as well, like I feel like the other day when I came in, I was a bit tired. I'd had a busy weekend, and I thought I was kind of like, oh, okay. And I sort of wandered in a bit, and then I came out and I was like, I'm going to Marks and Spencer's. It was
Oh,
great. It was amazing.
okay. So here's a really important thing before I finish with you, Yvonne, for a second. This guy, are you getting how big this is? This is why chiropractic is called the best kept health secret. And this is why back in before 1970, they tried to jail every chiropractor for practicing medicine without a license. Did you know that? Back in America, they set up a task force to literally put every chiropractor out of business. In the paperwork from the American Medical Association, we must contain and eliminate the chiropractic profession. Crazy, right? But
Yeah,
can you see why? Just with two people. What shifted? What's
yeah,
happened to the medication? It's just
yeah,
dropping away. This is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
Your bodies are incredible. They have the ability to heal because they're designed to be well. And what's happening every time we adjust you? Every time we adjust you, Emma, Yvonne, what happens? Even with your stump, Emma, and as we're correcting the curves in through here, your body is recalibrating itself. It's literally the synapses are starting to rejoin. They're starting to work better. You think clearer. The head fog starts to go. All those sort of things. It's amazing. And to be fair, some people would say it's miraculous. Well, I will say the body is a miracle and the body can do amazing things just as long as you remove the interference. Yeah. And
yeah,
some of you have been surrounded by interference most of your life. This is the time to unshackle things. And that's where you'll feel free. Like when you walk in, Yvonne, and go, oh, I feel like this. And then you get adjusted, like, oh my God, I've got that. My hands are no longer tied behind me. I can now move and be more freely and move like someone my age. And we're going to talk about that over the next few months about making sure you age relative to your physiology, not your chronology. All right.
yeah.
So, Norma, I can't see you, but you've probably worked out your tech. Can you turn open? Can you unmute yourself, Norma? I'll send you a little button because I want to hear from you because you shared something really, really cool with me earlier today. And we've known each other for 20 years. Norma's been getting adjusted. All right, Norma, can you unmute yourself if you worked it out? Because I know you'll be sitting there on your computer trying to work that out. Oh, Norma. I've sent you a little button to say ask to unmute. Come on, Norma. You can work it out. I'm going to pop by your house and show you to use this Zoom thing, Norma. You know that, don't you? We've known each other for a long time. Listen, I'm going to share something with you. Norma told me today in her 40s, she was told that she was 20% disabled. Yeah. And what they did to test her back then, they did this to her neck. They went, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, and then lifted her leg up, mm-hmm, and they classified her as 20% disabled. You imagine being told that and what that would do to your brain? To tell you that you've lost 20% of your ability. You're only 80% living. You've lost 20%. Imagine being told that. Well, Norma is in her 80s and Norma rides her bike here every week for her adjustment. Norma has walked to the practice I think it's about 2 or 3 miles every week for the last 20 years, except probably the last two when it got a bit cold and her lovely husband, Pat, who's also been a patient for nearly as long, drives her, but they're riding their bikes at the moment. Awesome. Amazing. And Norma, when I sort your camera out, when I drop by your house, and you're going to be on this call next time with us, you're going to be a major inspiration. we took care of Norma's sister, and then I'm going to just give something special here, because Norma's sister was 94 when she had her last adjustment, and Norma's sister had boxing gloves. She was doing boxing. Now, her Eileen was, her balance. I mean, Eileen came in because she was like bent over, half like this when she came and saw me in her late 80s. We got her walking without a stick. But Eileen was amazing. She would do personal training with boxing gloves, a 94-year-old, just to work on her balance. And that's what we're going to work on with all of you. So Yvonne, Emma, we're going to work on that. Jackie's on the call tonight. She's in doing PT. Jackie couldn't even walk up steps when she first came to the practice. Yeah. And now she does PT and boshes out those steps. Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? Is it possible? I'm going to ask you the questions as we finish today. If your body's designed to be healthy and it's smart, because it is smart, it adapts to your environment. I'm going to ask you a question today, and we're going to finish on this. Do you think that you could be healthier, stronger, and fitter in 12 months' time? Do you think? What do you reckon about that? Is it possible? It's very possible, so possible, it's probable. And all it takes is a bit of effort in the right direction, some guidance. You see, doctor means teacher. That's what I became 30 years ago. Doctor does not mean prescribe. Doctors have lost their way. There's lots of good doctors out there. The ones who are helping Yvonne, the ones who've tried to help you, Emma, and the ones who've tried to help Jackie. But the problem is they do not have the tools available for them to do what they need to make you well. You see, if they did, we'd go back and we'd have what we had in China many years ago, where the Chinese doctors used to get paid on the health of their community. Yeah. The doctors years ago in Eastern medicine used to get paid on the health of their community. That means if their offices were filled with patients, they would get the sack because they weren't doing their job well. And yet what's happening now, we've got doctors' offices that people can't even get their own doctor. They don't even know the doctor they're going to see because they're overloaded. It's crazy. You see, a doctor shouldn't have a busy waiting room of sick people. A doctor should have a busy waiting room of healthy people being proactive, wanting to think about, okay, what's my plan for the next 12 months? How do I want to be next year? How do I want to be the year after? Because I know Norma was probably thinking when she was 70, how am I going to be when I'm 80? And she's probably thinking tonight, what am I going to be like when I'm 90? So for all of you in the room tonight, think about what things are going to be like for you in the next 12 months. And we're going to start making some action steps to achieve exactly that. So on that note, really, really grateful for your contribution tonight, interacting. I know that's going to resonate with you, but remember, your body was designed to be well, and it is very smart. We just need to make sure we keep it clear. The communication from the brain, from above down, inside out, clear of any interference. And on that note, God bless. Have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to seeing you soon. All right. Thanks for your time tonight. All righty. Ciao, ciao. Bye.